Welcome to the Wake.Show. As everybody knows, a show needs an intro. This is that intro. I am Fisher in the foreground, Sam and Chris in the back. We have Corey Dillon on the couch. It's been a long time, so I can't say welcome back. You've never been. Wait, no. You've never been here before. You've never been here before, so I can't say welcome back.
I know. And Corey Dillon on the couch. It's been a while. What? It's been never that you had me on the couch.
Wait a minute. Why are you gonna throw it out like never, like it's a bad thing? That's my man, girl.
All right. Well, welcome in, Corey Dillon. It has been a long time. How are you doing?
I know. I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I'm so pumped to be here. I'm trying to post on my own Facebook page right now that I'm here.
I wasn't even thinking that I should have invited you in tomorrow. We have the huge 100th episode tomorrow, and I have not officially reached out to anybody. Oh, wait a second. We haven't started the show yet.
Oh, okay.
Okay, now we started the show.
Okay.
Son of a... I knew there was one button I missed. I knew there was one button.
It's okay. There are no accidents.
Well,
there are no accidents. It's all about how you react to it.
Says you, Chris. Says you.
It's all about now what are you going to do with it. That's all I'm going to say.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, welcome,
I'll be
Chris.
Here all day.
All right. But not tomorrow.
Say it.
No, I just... What? We have to address that here in the beginning. Bro, before we get into that, hold on. Before we get into that, welcome everybody, and also welcome our sponsor for the first 15 minutes of the show. And since I just started the show 30 seconds ago, even though I thought I started the show 2 minutes ago, welcome Single Source Insurance, and we'll see you guys tomorrow here at the 100th episode of Bake More Pies.
Ooh, I'm excited.
I am very excited too.
11:30 a.m.
Oh, what's that? What's that noise again? Chris? It's okay. No. I'm not yelling at you for the noise. The noise is gone.
Oh, you're yelling at me about something else. Here we go. Bring it.
No, it's not yelling.
Oh, okay.
Not yelling. It's not yelling.
Raising his voice.
Don't drive angry.
I'm not.
Okay, so we're either going to be direct, aggressive, or passive aggressive.
I vote for passive aggressive. That's the most fun.
Gonna be the one.
That's the most detrimental to any relationship. Passive aggressive.
I just was saying Chris. All I said was Chris.
No, but I was just saying I'm anticipating. I'm asking what you going.
Okay, so we gave you these dates in advance.
They gave me dates in advance, but I'd already had this booked before. And I know.
So you know how we've been really excited about the 100th episode tomorrow?
But to be fair, in our group chat, like 2 days ago, you're like, "What's Wednesday?"
But that was a joke. Which is funny swear that.
Oh, okay. We were both like, "Oh, he doesn't know."
That's my sense of humor. I was like, "What are you talking about?" That's why I said, "Ha ha ha, gotcha."
Gotcha.
Well, so Chris.
And then later, I'm like, "Oh my god!" So it doesn't like I didn't know.
So Chris calls me yesterday afternoon. He's
It's
like, "Dude."
When I call, it's important. I normally text. But
right.
I'm calling. He's like, "Wait a minute."
Well, first I get a call. I look down at 4:44, and I see it's Chris. So I go to answer it, but it stops ringing. So did you balk at the first time that you called me?
No, I didn't. No, not at all.
Okay. So then he calls me about 15 minutes.
I'm scared. That's not me.
So about 15 minutes later, he calls and like, "Hey, what's up, man?" And he's like, "Dude, I don't know how to say this. I was sitting there with my kids, da 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 da. Then something popped into my head, and I realized, oh shit,
I got my weeks. Oh, here's a question: anyone listening, have you ever been in a situation where, for whatever the reason is, your weeks are off? Like you think this is this week, and
of course, listen, man, we've all been there.
Okay, so that's what happened.
All right. So
the sad thing is we're talking about the 100th episode Wednesday. I know Wednesdays. No one's really saying dates. We're saying just Wednesdays. I'm like, cool, Wednesdays. Right. But I'm supposed to fly out to Nashville to record with Chase or write with Chase Rice, another amazing songwriter.
That's huge. So that's huge too.
And so I've been thinking, on that. So yesterday, it's funny because this is how I started knowing that my weeks were off. I'm taking my kids deep sea fishing. Right on Monday, I get the text the day before, set for tomorrow, and I was like, "Oh snap! Yes, we are." And that's when we knew. Oh man, it just started going from there. And then sadly, it interferes with the 100th episode. Something that Chris and I have been talking about since 2014. It's finally here, and then.
So how do you interpret that? So as before we get into on this day. Chris and I have a tendency to look at the universe a little bit different than most people, and we also look at the universe differently than each other look at the universe slightly as
That's
well.
why we have this show.
But I know that when something like this happens, because this is something that Chris and I have been visualizing since the summer of 2014, at least. Well, that's when we first put it on paper, and it was actually in discussions with somebody else at another production company. And so and this is how we envisioned it, was in a big psych room, because we're not doing the 100th episode. It's not going to be in this studio. It's going to be in our main psych room, which we have not done a show from yet. And so this is the way we envisioned it. And then when it comes to pass, it doesn't happen. So how are you processing that, Chris, my spiritual friend?
That definitely need to get an assistant. Or a reliable girlfriend,
a calendar,
or a
try Google.
Google. That's what my business partner was saying. We need to get the Google Calendar and get this thing going. I look at it as that. I see that there's just in ways you have to tighten up. That's just how you see it. I mean, again, I don't know if we would have changed the 100th episode. Like, I already had the ticket booked, so would we have really changed it? I don't know, but we won't know.
Well, had we known at the time, we probably would have
done it today or something.
Yeah, probably what I would have done is something fancy, like taking a day off, like taking last Monday off or last Friday or something. So that would have pushed back an episode. So our 100th would have.
Oh, we could have gone fishing with me yesterday,
or done something. Like that,
man, yeah, that's
or lied.
And then the other side of it is, when you look at it positively, it's like, okay, well, you're going to do something that is really going to help. Anything help for me is going to help.
This.
I mean, I understand that, and they're going to be like, "Where's Chris?" Well, he's going to do this writing. Well, he better come back with a banger. So next week when I come back and I have a great song, and then we can do that. The more popular the song gets, the more popular I will get. The more popular the Wake.Show will get.
There we go.
So I have to look at it in terms like that.
There we go.
Oh yeah.
Chase Rice. Do you guys know? Have you guys already been working on a particular song or song?
Yes, we have. I don't know what he's going to call it. I can sing it a cappella for you guys. It's actually really. I mean. It was 3 a.m. We're in LA. We just finished our show. It was sold out, and it's the end of the show. And I just had this felt compelled to sing this song to him that I've been sitting on for like a year. I'm like, Chase, I got this song. Just see if you like it. I sang the verse and the chorus, and the dude just shut up. In the next hour, we're just recording it, trying to get. He's like, that song's a banger. I want it. It's not even like I want it. It's just he just likes good music. I like good music too, and it made sense. And so then he's got a person who's written for him, Darius Rucker. What's his name? Dude, Kenny.
G.
Not Kenny G.
Kenny G.
Wow.
And Thomas Rhett. And so.
Oh wow.
So
that's cool.
Big names.
Yeah. So we're gonna sit together in Nashville and.
All right. Well, sing it. If you could sing us a little, just verse and chorus.
All right. So it goes. I used to walk this road alone. I'm so used to being lonely. Where I rest my head is home. I ain't never met no one like me until Miss Tennessee. She took a look at me. The picket white fence sort of bores me. And I know you gotta go. So I find myself singing this song. You'll be home and I'll be on the road, and we'll be talking on the telephone. Hear it in your voice when you start to cry. Hold my breath when you're saying goodbye. Bye, 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 yeah. Oh, oh, bye, 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 bye. Oh, oh.
I can't wait to see that.
Nice.
That's awesome.
I can't wait to see that get countrified.
Right.
I know.
You know what I mean?
I hear you.
Well, what's so great is that that sounds good as is, right? But I know the process, and by the time you're done with it, it's going to sound a little like that, but not like that.
Right. And the good thing is, this Chase is not. I mean, he's one of those artists who is not in a circle. Like, he's just like, I don't want to be labeled. It's too confining. I don't want it to be country. I'm just Chase, which is a beautiful thing, because I feel the same way with music. So it's interesting how that might turn out. It might be more poppy, than we think. Not like pop, like bleh, but just popular.
Right,
it might just be like an Ed Sheeran-y type thing. I just say that just for reference for people to think.
Well, not all country music has that, that deep twang like it once did. You can listen to these country songs these days and go, okay, well, there's a hip hop. I promise you, there's a hip hop producer behind that particular song.
Yeah.
A lot
pop crossover.
Yeah. There's a lot of that happening in country music.
Rock crossover. I like that.
All right, before we bring in Corey Dillon and get to some of the topics of the day, let's get... Well, Corey Dillon, you're already here. You're already brought in.
I am here.
You're already brought in, so... And you're on the
Corey's got
couch.
a great smile.
And I'm on the couch. Aren't you sweet?
Lay it on, Chris. Lay it on, bud.
My brain thought it. I felt it'd be nice to just kind of say it. It's just a nice thing. I'm not hitting on Corey. I'm just letting him know.
I didn't think you were.
See, it's saying women like sincerity. Anyone likes
Exactly.
sincerity. I'm just being sincere.
You can pay a compliment without it being creepy.
That's right.
Thank you. Because she knows that I got girls.
Some people can't, actually.
Add more? No, I'm playing.
Some people do not have that ability, I guess. But
No, you're right. You're
it
right.
goes back to the whole SNL skit. Remember with Tom Brady? They're like, if you don't want to be creepy, be good looking. So
Exactly.
I haven't seen that, but I might have to check that
Oh, you
out.
haven't? Oh, yeah. This is before the whole Me Too thing.
Oh yeah.
And all.
Well, I know that I've heard many times that guys will be frustrated or angry because they say that some guys can talk to a girl that way at the office and get away with it. Some guys can't talk that way.
Right.
And they say the only difference is one guy is good looking and one guy's not good
No,
looking.
confidence, man. It's a confidence thing. Women love confidence. Like if you go to a girl and go, I think you're kind of cute. What? Get out of here. You know what I mean? But if you're like, dang,
but
girl,
there are also
you know?
certain things you can compliment them on and certain things you shouldn't compliment. You should never compliment them, I think, on their body.
Wait a minute.
I don't think you should do that. Because well,
Why is that?
Well, because, do you want an old man complimenting you on your ass?
Wait, what if it's a young man?
Even still, it's inappropriate unless there's some dynamic there. You know what I mean? It's inappropriate.
Well, wait a minute. Here's my point. My question: if you were wearing something that was a little revealing, there's a reason that you're
my shoulder here. I'm revealing my shoulder right now.
Right now,
Yeah.
if I said, "Hey, look at your shoulders,"
Corey,
but you've been
I'd like to compliment you on your bare shoulder.
right.
Yeah.
Now, that's creepy.
That's weird. That's a
creepy
little weird.
But if
That's
I just
a
go,
little-
"Hey, look at your shoulder, mama," I see it. Shoulder lean.
No.
She wouldn't be creeped out by that.
No,
That's a
I think
confidence.
eyes, like you're having a good hair day, your smile,
Eyes.
like
Don't
you
hear
did.
that all the time, though.
No.
You're gonna tell me you don't hear your eyes?
No.
I don't know if you guys can zoom in or
No.
we can't zoom
No.
in. She's got
Well,
beautiful
you'll
eyes.
see my pre-cancer treatment. I'm got going on here. There's it
Oh,
looks like
it's-
I've had an accident under my eyes.
So what do you got going on there?
Well, you got to go to the dermatologist once a year to get a little skin check,
Right.
and lo and behold, they always find something. So she's like, "That's a little precancer. That's a little precancer," and usually they would just kind of freeze it off. But she said, if I do that to your face, you might have this permanent white, brand new skin there, super white, super pink that won't match the rest. So she gave me this cream, and she called it like a topical chemotherapy, and I went, oh God,
What?
But
Oh
I
my
have
God.
to use it every day, twice a day for 2 weeks.
Was this
And
a
so
real
it
doctor
looks
you
a
went to?
little
It
red
wasn't just
skin.
some crazy on the street. This is a real doctor.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, at USF dermatology, as a matter
Oh
of fact.
yes.
Yeah.
Go Bulls.
Yeah, I had
you don't get
about
a second opinion at all, something
No,
like that?
no. I've been going to them for a while. Yeah, but that's the thing. It's super common with white girls like me.
that's
to have a
why
little
I'm like,
precancer.
okay.
To have little things pop up. You know what I mean? So I
already had
Well, to let
surgery.
you know, I was
Did
looking
you?
at your eyes, not the little precancerous thing.
yeah.
I just
Well,
didn't, so,
but
I
I
didn't
felt
want to give you the
compelled
same
to explain
old thing.
that
Well, we can't.
thing.
We're not zooming in, so nobody can see it.
Okay. Well, if you see me on the street,
I had a little basal cell carcinoma right here that they cut off and get in, and then take skin off of back here and put it over
oh my
here.
God,
and-
really? That's a serious deal.
Yeah, and he said also, since I was so young at the time, 37, I think is when it was when I got it done. He goes, "Well, I'm going to see you a few more times in your life."
Yeah.
That's not
Well, because all the damage we did was when we were kids.
Right.
We were out there, with baby oil on and stuff like that.
We didn't know any better.
Yeah.
And that's what he said too. I go, "Well, is this playing too much golf?" And he goes, "Oh no. This is something that happened back when you were a teenager, and a few bad sunburns back then can have an effect. 15 years later, 20 years
Oh,
later."
yeah.
But he goes, "Look around." He goes, "When you leave, look around the waiting room." And I did, and there wasn't a person there that was under the age of 60.
100?
Yeah,
Okay.
65. Really.
I have a dermatologist.
I
appointment
know.
next week.
Do ya?
It's true.
Yeah, you should. I have really Irish skin, so I go every year.
There you
for a skin
go.
Checkup.
You got that
But I also have
alabaster-
rosacea on my face, so I have another reason
You
to
look
go.
like you've taken better care of your skin though than me.
She's 21.
I'm so
Yeah.
white.
Well,
Corey.
I don't think my skin was I had freckles. You know what I mean? Because we did that thing. We're out in the sun all the time.
Yeah.
I hated my freckles. Now I'm I could
freckles
use
are
a couple
great.
of freckles. But now you
And I think-
thank God for lasers.
Did you ever?
Pew, pew.
Did you
All
ever
of
do
it.
the sun in? in your hair? Did you ever do sun?
Oh yeah. Well, actually, I don't think I could afford the sun-in, so I just put peroxide on my
did
bangs.
that too, yeah.
And my mom was like, "Did you do something to your hair?" And I'm like, "No, of course not, Mom." You know, yeah.
All right, so Sam, let's get to before the conversation goes further. Let's get to on this day. On this day, I know it seems like an old hackneyed radio bit because it is, but I loved it. And I told you before the reason that we do it is for two reasons. One, from my childhood. When listening to the radio when I was a kid, the two things that made me happiest was listening to On This Day, and followed by the baseball scores, the box scores from baseball games. So I could keep up with, and then, third, believe it or not, was listening to people's birthdays.
Oh,
What,
cool.
celebrity birthdays?
No.
Oh, just like, hey, it's little Jimmy's birthday.
Yeah, I always thought it was so cool when the people on the radio would say, "Oh, so and so, yeah, your mom called in," or so whatever.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
We had a show like that in Seattle. It was the JP Patches show. This guy was a clown, and that was the
literally
thing.
JP Patches, because that sounds like a clown's name.
Well, yeah, I don't know if that was his legal,
McGraw.
his government issue ID, but it was certainly his name.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was
Yeah, I
a
love
huge
him
thing
too.
to have like your birthday
Right.
announced on the JP Patches show.
Right.
It's like, oh my God.
I remember there's a
You're a
kid-
celebrity.
And then fourth, if I have to put, if I'm going
I know him.
before I got into radio now, Corey,
Shades of
before
Grey.
I got into
Shades of
radio.
Grey.
What the hell are you? Are you guys having a side conversation?
I know.
Sorry.
What the hell?
I'm sorry. We were looking at
Well,
celebrity
you guys were having
birthdays.
your own thing, and we kind of felt like, so I don't know what.
Oh.
Isn't that funny? You see how
I'm
we
so
weren't
sorry.
bagging on y'all for having your own thing? We just don't need to worry
I
about
like
it.
how
We
you
were
tried to
looking at
switch that, but
celebrity
nobody's
birthdays. I'm
buying
so
it.
sorry.
I want to say happy birthday to my best friend.
Yeah.
Sorry, everyone.
And
my
then
God.
lastly, Corey, Corey, this is what it is. We're boring you because we're going down memory lane and radio. And then if I have to
When's
put
your
number-
birthday?
August 3rd. Thank you for
You
asking.
are a Leo.
I've had boyfriends
She's
that
a Leo,
didn't ever
boy.
ask that.
She's
Like,
a Leo.
Really?
Yeah.
then they
Wow.
have boyfriends.
Yeah,
That's
no.
why they're gone. 'cause
Yeah.
You're like, yeah.
You know.
I like that. I can tell you're either a Leo or an Aquarius. You're
Yeah.
just
Oh yeah. Leo all the way.
all day. She's
All
three.
day
She's
long.
a 3-2, which is the Holy Trinity, by the way.
A what?
It's a balance. You're the 3 in numerology.
Oh, what's that?
I check out numerology and astrology. So it's the study of numbers.
Well,
So
right, I
how
knew
it
that,
is.
but-
so yeah, 3. If you look up numerology 3, you'll understand. A little
The
bit
power
about
of
what
three.
you are.
Even Tesla, who was not crazy, well, not that kind of crazy anyway. He would talk about the magic of 3. If people understood, saw the number 3 or 3, the power of
Holy
3,
Trinity.
like he saw it, it would change your world, according to Tesla.
So where are we going with this?
So
I'm
anyway,
Jesus?
so-
What?
well, yeah,
what's
you're
the power
Jesus.
of three?
Yes,
Like,
you are
what's the-
Jesus. Actually, that's where we're going with.
Well, I just
Starting my own cult.
I
now.
just ran off my my top 3 favorite radio bits listening, growing up listening to the radio. But number 4 on the list is that Friday whistle, the 5 o'clock Friday
Oh
whistle.
yeah, like
that was
the-
great.
Oh yeah, when it was quitting time, everybody's working for the weekend. Yeah.
And then once I got into radio, I hated all of those things because that's what they try to make you do every single day.
So I'll just say real quick: those who walk the life path of a number 3 have unlimited creativity and almost superhuman abilities. 3 reminds us that we're born of both human and divine spark. It's energy that is of the bringer of change. Which you kept saying you change every July.
I'm going through it right now. Oh yeah,
All right, keep going, Chris. Keep going.
that life change.
Well, I was just trying to give her just a little bit because that's if she wants more, you got to go on a date with me and we can give her a little more.
Gee.
Were you just
Wow.
saying you had a girlfriend?
No, I didn't say I have a girlfriend. I have
Oh,
a girlfriend.
okay.
Where are you gonna take her?
Plural. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, where would we go? What do you like to eat?
People, everything.
I mean, she's a Leo,
yeah.
so she really knows what she likes. So that's kind of I just kind of see where she would go. And you said everything. Okay, that's
I like to explore cultures through food. So yeah, I
okay,
mean, I
so watch
definitely.
this. So if I took you to McDonald's, what would you say?
Nah.
See, now to say everything then. No, I clearly would not take you to McDonald's. I was just making a point. Don't say
know,
everything.
I was like, you
Just-
take her to McDonald's.
No, I mean, but here's the thing. Like, what do you want? You want good conversation, right?
Right.
So does
right.
that mean-
God, here we go.
Atmosphere, little
So we
vibe.
could, like,
Here
so
we
could
go.
literally- we
Hold
could grab
on,
some
hold
food
on.
and walk on the beach and have nice conversation. Everybody on that
5
day
minutes
before
ago, he
having-
was saying he wasn't hitting on me. Now he's like, we're
No, I'm
planning
just
a
trying
date.
to understand you a little bit more. That's all.
Yeah,
but we
no,
can
I'm
stop. We
teasing
can
you.
stop and keep on moving. All right.
No, where would you take her?
No, but
I'm
I
teasing.
think someone of divinity, something that you haven't seen before. I would think it
Exactly.
would be pretty cool for us to have some food and literally walk and talk on the beach to figure out who you are and figure out why I am, what the karma is.
Yeah.
Have you ever done that before?
Walk and talk and eat
The
on the
first
beach
time
like
you're
that?
hanging out with somebody,
No.
he's walking on the.
That's cool.
No. No.
What would you eat though as you were walking?
She said it doesn't matter. It doesn't
Something
matter
not
either.
messy, probably.
Well, you said, what do you like? I said everything.
Right,
I didn't say it didn't matter.
Okay.
Like, I would not, I'm not big on hot dog. I wouldn't want to do a hot dog.
either,
That,
no way.
God.
which would be an easy thing to eat on the beach, but I don't do hot dogs.
Right, yeah.
I don't really do a lot of fast food.
Yeah, you look healthy and in shape, but I'm with
Thank
you.
you.
I was not doing the donut thing, so we're already linking
Yeah.
up. Did you know that Leo and Aquarius are compatible?
Yeah.
Astrology?
I mean, I've dated, like, Scorpio and me, not so much.
Gotcha. Y'all don't mind us. We'll be right back. So anyway,
We'll be right back.
my bad. So go ahead. What were you saying?
All right.
Give me love. You are awesome.
Fine, you are too.
All right, cool.
Love it.
All right, here we go. Bachelor number one. What number does your chakra derive spiritual? Bachelor number one.
Someone said bachelor number one. That's
What
awesome.
number does your chakra derive spiritual strength from? That's what it is.
That's a good question.
I don't
what do you
know.
do? The comment is trying to react. What?
What are you on?
Yeah.
I mean, what website, I should say.
Oh, no. I'm looking at the comments that are people responding to this. This is another one of the cool things about this, too. You got the comments right in front of you.
Right. No, that's very cool. The interaction. Yeah, I mean, I wanted to come today because I love what you're doing, Chris.
So
I think this
wouldn't-
is so cool, what you're doing.
Thank you.
And I think it's, frankly, the future.
We're hoping so.
It's new media, which is not old media. And,
Right.
I don't know. I mean, radio is my first love. I don't want to say anything negative about radio, but
in case they'll have you back eventually.
right. But I see the things you're doing, and I think that's the future.
Well, that's what they keep telling us, and we're trying.
We have some things in the
People
works.
got to catch up. They'll catch up.
We do have
promise
some
you.
things in the works.
We have some things in the works.
Yeah, I hate to be the things in the works guy.
Right.
But we do.
Vague book.
I know. You're talking about. Hold on a second. I got to turn down.
You know what I'm talking about?
Well, I just want to make sure. I'm going to turn down the audio real quick.
Everything.
Check.
And I'm saying, don't say that. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't say it on the. I turned down the volume.
All right,
I turned down the volume.
good.
But yeah, you know what I was talking about. That's a great thing.
Like I don't talk about something until I know it's signed, still delivered, and then remember when I did America's Got Talent?
Oh, you
Yes.
did?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
So remember that. So by the way,
Yeah.
I didn't tell anyone I was on America's Got Talent until I knew I was going to be on the
Right.
show. I did
Smart.
the audition, and I was like, "Hey, I'm having a kid, and I'm on America's Got Talent." Boom. So it's the same thing with writing with Chase. Like it's official. Okay, now tell everybody.
Right. Well, and here's the thing. Like, I mean, 20 to 25% of the jobs that exist right now are going away in just a couple of years. Including some traditional media. I was talking to somebody yesterday that had some affiliation with the Tampa Bay Times, and they're predicting in 8 years there will be no print. Everything that they do is going to be online.
Yeah.
I saw somebody
that includes the TBT and everything.
I believe that.
to show you just where print is. I saw something online that somebody's trying to start a nostalgia campaign, like basically trying to make newspapers cool the same way that like Pabst Blue Ribbon is cool or something like that, where
like records.
Yeah, records. That's what they were
records.
comparing it to.
Yeah.
Vinyl. Yeah, they were comparing it to vinyl. Look at newspaper like vinyl. It's a lot cooler. It makes you look smarter on when it's sitting on your table. But basically, that is a desperate attempt to try to keep newsprint relevant.
Exactly. I mean, like you can try and force something, but unless the millennials are jumping on board with it,
Right. That's what they were talking.
it's a lost cause.
When you go get that cool vinyl record to look cool, then also buy a newspaper at the same time and maybe even read it. All right, on this day, we'll go over on this day just to put things in perspective real quickly. And I do this, like I said, because it fulfills a need of the child inside of me. And also, I do believe that it gives us perspective. For those things that can make us angry when you're watching the news day in and day out and going, the world's got to be coming to an end. You take a deep breath and go, no, this too shall pass. This too one day will just be a footnote in history. This too will one day be on this day. All right.
Oh my God.
What? A little too
I love it.
melodramatic.
Well, that's cool.
I think it's legit, and I think it was awesome.
All right, likes and shares. We appreciate that. For those of you joining us, hey, Danny Kayla, nice to see you. Jeremy, Jason, Cheryl, Monique.
All the new people, make sure you tune in tomorrow at 11:30 for our 100th episode, please and thank you.
That's right, the 100th episode tomorrow.
Also, thank you to Single Source Insurance for sponsoring the first 15 minutes.
Yeah, thank
How
you.
we gonna? This Sam is just we can't. Man, what a
Is this your
boy.
last day with us, so you are coming back on Friday?
Oh man, I'm definitely coming back.
On Friday, I mean.
No, you'll be
before
out
I
of
leave.
Shit, hold on, I'll be right back.
You're not flying
I'll be
out
right
on Wednesday
back.
and coming right back, are you?
Man, We got to go, man.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll find that out.
See, I'll follow you in 2 seconds.
All right. From History.com, at the top of their list on this day, their lead story: Empire State Building dedicated on this day in 1931.
Wow.
Let's see.
Chrysler Building is still my favorite, though.
Yeah.
I haven't been in either one. Have you?
I don't recall. I've been in the Empire State Building.
Wouldn't you remember?
Well, okay, I've been to the Empire State Building. I don't think I've been to the Chrysler Building. And I've also had drinks at the John Hancock Building in Chicago.
I've been in the Freedom Tower since it was built. That's very cool.
Yeah, I haven't been there.
Yeah.
Haven't done the Freedom Tower yet. Let's see here. President on this day in 1926, Ford factory workers get a 40-hour work week.
Wow.
On this day in 1926.
That's when it started.
Let's see, Millennial, do you know this story? The American U-2 spy plane shot down?
I saw U2 and I was like, someone shot the band U2 on this day, but it wasn't. Like, I didn't read it. I didn't read it fully. I just saw U2, but like, what
That
else
is
would
so
I think
awesome.
when I see
God,
U2?
my heart just like skipped
That's
a beat
awesome.
when she,
No, I know
she
what it
even
is.
thought that. That kills me. That's my
I
favorite
just
band.
saw U2 and I was like, someone shot them.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Bono was spying on Russia back in 1960, and they caught him. Actually, this plane is what U-2 was named after.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, all right.
The U-2 spy plane was something that could fly at high altitudes and up to a certain point. Nobody was able to shoot it down. But then one day, on this day in 1960, as it was running recon somewhere in Russia, I want to say, the U-2 brainchild. This was the day that it was shot down. U-2 flight piloted by Francis Gary Powers disappeared while on flight over Russia. The CIA reassured the president that even if the plane had been shot down, it was equipped with self-destruct mechanisms that would render any wreckage unrecognizable. And the pilot was instructed to kill himself in such a situation. Jeez.
Kamikaze.
No wonder these guys come back with drinking problems.
Yeah.
Right?
All right, next up.
An American tops Everest. Did you talk about that?
You know, can I say something real quick
Sure.
to anyone who is dealing with PTSD, their families, someone loved one, or anything like that? You know, Chris said no one of these guys come back with drinking problems. To just bring in a level of just very seriousness to that. Like, it's very serious. It's very real. Heart goes out to you. It's nothing easy that any of you guys deal with, and we
Nope.
recognize that. So
That's also one of the reasons why when you tune into this show that you will also see me wearing my emotions on my sleeve, and those days that my crazy kicks in a little too hard, I stay right here and wallow in it. So those of you that are out there that go through trying times every now and again, there's other people that are out there hustling just like you are, fighting every single day to make sense of the world and keep going forward. And lastly here, on this day in 1991, Ricky Henderson breaks a stolen base record.
I watched that.
You remember that?
I remember that.
I know the clip, because he took the base. Remember,
Yeah.
But
Maybe I was actually the.
yeah. So did we
Maybe
see
it
it
was the
live?
clip.
Or
Now that I'm thinking about it,
probably
maybe it
saw
was
the clip, right? But an interesting fact is, do you know who currently owns the stolen base record?
I don't.
27 years later, it's still Ricky Henderson.
Wow, really?
Yeah,
Good for
isn't that
him.
amazing?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Because you would think, okay, we just did nothing but faster and stronger. You would think that, but I have a feeling that stealing bases probably became less of a thing at some point.
Yeah.
Especially as teams strategize more. You're not. I know you're the fastest man in baseball, but you're not stealing this
what,
base.
as you said, things are getting faster and with everything getting
Right.
stronger, so it's probably not as easy. To
I mean,
steal bases.
it was spring training, but I worked with the Red Sox for a couple of seasons during spring training as the DJ, and so I saw every single home game down
And they
in
were
Fort
just getting
Myers.
bigger and stronger all those
Well,
3
yeah,
years.
I was just trying to think, like, how many times did I see somebody steal a base in those 18, 19, 20 games? I think maybe once.
Yeah.
Once.
And
So,
our star Kevin Kiermaier
ooh,
messed up his thumb, tore some ligaments because he was sliding to second.
well, everything else is working just fine. He's about to be a dad.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah, he just announced. I think they're going to be parents in October, November, something like that.
Hold on, I'm about to text that dude right now. Like, what? I didn't know that.
What? You got Kevin Kiermaier's phone number? Do tell.
That's my guy, dude.
Oh, well, yeah.
But he's not so much a guy to know he's having a kid. You know, yeah, we talk about going fishing and stuff like that, and we, you know.
Well, you better get it in before November.
Yeah, actually, we were talking about that.
He's going to be a little busy after then.
That's awesome.
All right. And that's it for On This Day. What do you have for us, Sam, as far as a quote of the day goes?
I was looking at, do you know the brand Gibson guitars?
Oh, yeah.
They
Right.
just filed for bankruptcy today.
Whoa.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, oh, that's a pretty big brand. It's because I guess they have literally mountains of debt and they just can't get out of it.
Oh, wow.
What are the brands? Fender? I mean, Chris would know better.
Yeah, Chris.
Gibson's a great one.
Wes and I were having this conversation the other day. The older models back in the 60s and 70s, phenomenal. But then they kind of changed the body. They're like, I think they were like trying to compete with... and it just started going downhill, and you're just not really into him anymore. So I'm not shocked.
Okay.
I step in here, Wes, and Wes is a guy that I will absolutely respect his acumen with music. And
You're talking about the Wes that you work with here at Bakemore Pies?
Yeah, man.
Yep.
Now, he's not an employee here, right? He's somebody you guys subcontract?
Yeah, he's
when
a contractor.
Okay. And then if you don't know what we're talking about, one of the things that, so in association with this show that I do, it's partnered with a marketing / production company.
Mm-hmm.
They do a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
And to sum it up in a sentence, what does Bakemore Pies do, Sam?
It is a all-in-one digital marketing agency.
See, I did not know that. I was expecting a pie factory when I got here.
A lot of people are.
I had no idea.
It's for 360 solutions, like a pie,
Gotcha.
like pie
wait.
charts.
So that's what you tell people? You know what
That's what Quartz
Chris
tells
told me
us.
something different.
You know what I tell people?
What did you tell people?
I tell people... Why you give me that look? I tell people... Well, this is what Johnny Torres
they
told me.
actually bake pies?
No, this is what Johnny Torres told me.
What did he say?
Who will also be part of the show tomorrow. I'm very excited to have Johnny back. Johnny said that it was, like in business, you're trying to get your own piece of the pie.
Oh, that's it too, yeah.
And he said, but, with today's technology and be able to reach people in ways never, so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. He said, you don't have to worry about fighting over a piece of the pie. You just get out there and bake more pies.
Yep.
Bake more pies. And there's plenty of wealth to be had out there.
That's
Mom,
true.
I see my mom and Sharon joining at the same time.
Nice.
I asked him, and we'll have to talk to his wife about this, but tomorrow, since Lauren's coming to the show, I said that they should do a newlywed game where we give them the whiteboards. I asked the questions because they just got married.
I like that.
And I was like, she'd have to be comfortable with it, but...
go against Cords and his wife, so put them both together. Like, they've seen it on
oh my God, Cords and Haley.
I've seen that on cruise lines where it's like, the newlyweds are the ones.
I think Cords would absolutely do it. I don't know if Haley and Lauren would be down.
The ladies away and ask them questions and have them answer, and then the guys go away and they come back. That's kind of a cool thing. That might be really fun.
That's what I was thinking.
Like you said, I think I'd be down and Cords would be down, but I don't know if our wives are going to be down. Lauren's not a big fan of cameras. She's not a front house kind of.
Is she a fan of you?
Yes.
Well, then she's going to have to get over that.
Yeah.
When you're in the spotlight a lot more as the face of the Wake.Show, she's going to have to come to red carpets with you.
Yeah.
Man, it's cool.
I told her I'd send her like a whole list of questions so that she would be able to see all of them, but she wouldn't know which ones I was going to ask them so that she was fully comfortable. Because I'm not trying to make her uncomfortable.
I think you should try that, Chris. You just say,
if she's down.
Man, don't you want me to make some money?
And the dogs.
I need you to help, Mama. Jump on in here.
Here's Steve Corbin goes, damn, I thought y'all were baking pies.
Oh my gosh, no, we're not.
All right, so speaking of my wife, this is the closest she gets to getting in front of the camera or being that person. She'll use our animals to. So today, did you know, is Transformation Tuesday, everybody?
Yes.
And so what you're seeing on your screen now is a transformation from when we first got little Joey Bishop, who eventually became Joey Bishop Fisher. Transformation Tuesday. In light of Adopt a Shelter Pet Day yesterday, I wanted to post this transformation photo to show that I'm a whole new boy.
Oh.
On the left is me, Joey, in September of 2015 when I first met my new parent, my parents.
Oh.
Yes.
I was 4.1 pounds, neglected and homeless. I was so skinny that and had so little muscle that my spine was curved. My old family surrendered me at Pet Pal Animal Shelter and said I'd been hit by a car and they didn't want me. Oh, it's going to make me tear up.
So weird. I think it's weird that people adopt pets and then they really don't care for them. So is it like a status symbol? Is that why people are like the Paris Hilton thing. Remember when she used to carry around the little teacup pets, and so people then wanted them as kind of a status symbol?
An accessory.
I don't
too.
get it. Like,
I think that's what it is they think whatever they want it for whatever reason.
That makes
an
me so
accessory. This, and then they get it and they realize, oh, this isn't a stuffed animal that I just stick in my purse. It needs attention. It has its own little complicated personality. So. My old family surrendered. So they took him to Pet Pal and said that he had been hit by a car and they couldn't afford it, and so that's why they surrendered.
Yeah.
2 things. I'm glad they did. They lied because they ran him through the X-ray and he was fine. And a 4.1 pound dog's not going to get hit by a car and have nothing wrong with him.
Right. That's
so
true.
they lied, but I'm glad they did. Because basically they felt too ashamed to say we just don't want him or can't care.
Can you do that legally? Can you do that?
What do you mean?
Can you just drop off, like, you know how you can drop off a kid at a fire station, a baby at a fire station? Can you just drop off a pet and say, I can't take care of him, I don't want to take care of him, or whatever?
I think you have to find the right shelter because not all shelters accept all animals. You know, like a Pet Pal Animal Shelter is a no-kill shelter. But they can't accept, obviously, every animal out there.
Right. But I mean, I guess it's better than the alternative, which is they would just let him go out in the wild, you know?
Right.
Which would be terrible. So
Joey, this was they dropped him off there, and the post goes on to say their loss. Their loss. I like my new family better anyways. On the right is me today, 7.75 pounds, and my mom calls me her little prince. I get lots of food, treats, and love. I also have a sister. She's the best, and my spine is straight. I'm very healthy, and I am the luckiest. Hashtag how to save a life. Joey Grams and Adopt Don't Shop. There you go. Well done from the Wake.Pups. If you'd like to follow them on Instagram. And Corey, if you'd like to go ahead and move, unless you're enjoying your spot there.
Closer,
on the couch. Let me put this down.
If you're all right on the couch there.
Well.
Otherwise, come on over this way. And can you point this camera over here before you walk out, Sam? Thank you. And get them both in the shot
in the
there.
spotlight now.
There you go. Oh yeah. Now come into the light.
Come into the light. Yes, come into the light, Clarice, or whatever her name was.
Sharon says, I don't think you should be allowed to ever adopt again if you surrender an animal. Well,
I can dig that. Wait, but no, I can dig that.
I can understand why that seems good initially, but I think, can you zoom out on that one there? I mean, that is a great shot there, but do you know how to zoom out, or are you just going to start pulling on the camera?
I actually don't on this camera. How do you zoom out?
Let's see. I bet you it's, look at the top right here. Where your hand would be if you were holding it?
The one that you just let go of your donut with?
Here, right here. Right there. Is that it?
Yeah? Okay.
There we go. That'll get it. Now just...
What? What?
Now just...
get shocked?
Just turn the camera like an inch or two...
What was that?
I know it got pulled back.
Towards me.
I was nowhere near him.
There you go. Right there. Good job.
Weird.
Awesome.
Like you got poked in real life.
All right, thank you.
See you guys.
Bye.
See you after the show. All right. So,
what
are you guys doing?
Crazy charismatic.
Oh, well, thank you.
I love that about you.
You know what the thing about radio is you have to be even bigger. And same with TV. And I'm sure on stage, you know that. It's like you have to act bigger than life because...
I don't think you're acting, though.
Well, no, I'm not.
Saying. I think this is just you.
Right. I mean, it is, but...
I know what you mean.
But
is it also a caricature of yourself, would you say, Corey? Yes, it is you, but it's also a caricature of you? Of a certain part of yourself?
Well, the high energy part, maybe. Yeah. You know what I mean? I mean, nobody's going to tune into... Well, actually, I take that back. Millennials might tune into a show where you're just like sitting on your couch watching TV. They watch the craziest YouTube channels. You know, just like... I guess there's this chick... just will eat pizza or just eat food, and it's a huge channel unboxing things on YouTube. So people are making money just simply unboxing the things that they're getting from Amazon.
What have been some of the more exciting things and the more frustrating things about trying to transition from traditional media, radio and television for you, to this new media? Because you're right, you're sitting there and you've had consultants in your ear for the last 20 years telling you this is what content needs to be, and needs to look like this and sound and then all of a sudden you turn around and the universe presents to you all this technology so you can do everything yourself. And then you flip on YouTube to go, okay, well, what are the top YouTube videos?
Right.
Children playing video games?
Exactly.
What do you mean? Hold on. They're not doing anything except playing video games.
And people are watching. I have one of my best friends. That's what her son does.
It's crazy.
He just watches other people play video games. And they're somehow fascinated by that.
And the same thing, you have millions of subscribers or views for people unwrapping presents, and you're sitting there going, "Well, what the hell? Should I try to put together a show?"
You got to do you, whatever that is.
Yeah, you stay authentic, dude.
Good point. That's the right
authenticity is where it's at, especially with millennials.
That's where it's at.
Because at some point they're going to get over all that stuff, and they're going to be thirsty and hungry for knowledge. Trust that. They will be.
By the way,
that's
Sharon.
Where we come in.
By the way, Sharon says that that is the rule of shelters. It's not a suggestion of hers. But if you haven't ever surrendered an animal, then you can't. You get another one.
Oh, really?
I can understand that why that's a rule. But I also would like to give, like, for instance, say you fall in extremely hard times, right? And you go, I'm getting ready to, I'm this close to being on the street, or you're on the street, you're living out of your car or something. You go, all right, this is the best time for me. I'll surrender my animal and it'll finally get home. But when I get back on my feet and things are all right, you better believe I'll have an animal again. I'll have another pet in my life.
But I guess they just don't know how to police that.
Right.
You know?
That's why I think they have that, because you have to do something. Because again, man, like, what about the people who aren't like that? What about the people who just...
Right. Well, it's just, I mean, the same thing. People have kids, you know? It's like... Some people shouldn't have kids, but they do. And then there are friends of mine, family members of mine that physically cannot have kids.
Right.
And I mean, they've adopted, actually.
And
Thank God.
And you see the ones that have a kid and then are back out partying that same weekend, and now grandma is watching the child.
Yeah.
And then they have another kid and another kid and another kid.
Yep.
And they're only 20. By this time, they're only 22, 23, 24 years old.
Yeah.
And they're on their fifth kid by a fourth different guy. And you're going, what the hell? And they're related to you. And you're trying to figure out, if there's anything you can do to step in or have the state step in. And you realize there's nothing you can do. This person is just going to keep doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
And there's literally nothing we can do about it.
Crazy.
Steve, we're going back to the video games and things online.
Yeah.
Steve Corbin, he'll also do work out at Park and Rec. I'll see him out there every now and again. He says, I met a guy at Park and Rec who is a grown man playing video games, and he's making a damn good living off of it too. I was out there one night when these guys were out there, and they had set up a little system kind of like what we had here, but they had a camera over the top of, I think they were just playing a pinball game too. It wasn't
really?
even fancy.
Old school.
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking fancy. They had set up a couple of cameras. One was directly over the game itself. I want to say another one was on the player, and they had set up a screen, like on an iPad, where you could see the split screen there that was going out there, and they were doing this live. And I didn't see how many people were watching, but yeah, these were professional game players making a living.
I remember reading that the guy who's best at competing in Golden Tee, isn't that one of the most popular games, golf games?
I used to be.
He was making $250,000 a year.
I got paid. I got paid a few times.
Yeah.
I got checks from them. Yeah.
So can you hate anybody for doing that then? No.
I'm not hating on them.
When we go, oh my God, the professional gamers. Well, dude,
I mean, and that's the thing. Just things are changing. There are a lot of people that are resistant to this change that is happening, and it's coming, whether they're resistant to it or not.
Yeah, you can monetize anything, man.
I mean, and that's why I'm doing everything that I'm doing. I'm doing a little bit of this, a little bit of this, a little bit of this, and because I think that the future is going to look different. Certainly for radio.
Oh, yeah.
We were talking about print. That's going away.
Well, they stopped teaching kids cursive. That's why I believe what you're saying. I'm like, well, when you start teaching the kids cursive, what's the next step? Yeah, just push the button.
Right.
Makes sense. That's why I feel what you're saying on that.
Well, one of the reasons why they were who did that is because kids didn't need it anymore. We didn't need to have that formal handwriting, and the generation behind us, your kids, Chris, if I ever have kids, my kids, they're not going to need to have that.
But I'm still going to teach it because Daddy knows it.
All right.
Yeah.
That's
I don't
fine.
want my kids having anything that I don't have.
I was in the John Hancock Club. I don't like to brag, but I really was. But I don't write very often anymore. I mean,
that was
you
one
just
of those.
Don't do it.
I remember that was one of those things too that I wanted to be like my father. My father had the coolest little handwriting.
Yeah.
And I wanted my handwriting. Oh, I had the worst handwriting. It never turned out.
Yeah, mine too. Atrocious. It's an artist thing, I think, or a crazy person.
Yeah.
But my handwriting isn't the best. But you never know. I mean, you never know if it, like they say, it ends how it begins. We don't know how long technology will be there. I don't know if my children will be 60 and all of a sudden computers will just stop. You just never know. I mean, they're here now. So why? But they may not be here. So I wouldn't want my children just to be able to know how to read a map, know how to write, and just know how to use. So
still know some of that old school stuff, just in case society
Wi-Fi breaks down, or you're in a country that doesn't have good Wi-Fi.
Minds if they lost Wi-Fi.
Well, what do you mean? I would lose my mind. I used to memorize how to get to places. I don't memorize that anymore.
Yeah,
Sometimes I don't memorize how to get home because I know I'll just get on the road, hit home on my app, and it'll get me to the interstate.
Right, and
you know
that's what I mean.
Right,
It's
yeah,
like we're
I do.
dumbing down and becoming more lazy, and becoming not as, we're not using all the talents and genius that we have. Like, I mean, most of the time, I'll tell you the truth, man, I used to get a lot of attention from girls because I'm really good with numbers. I mean, this is before the cell phone thing. So
how did that bring you attention with girls?
Because I would have a conversation with them, and then when they're like, "Hey, let me your number," they say, "Are you going to write it down?" I go, "No," and they're like, "Oh, you're going to forget." And I'm like, "Oh, so you're already putting me down here before we even start. Try me."
Don't
and then
take
I
it
wait
so
4
personally.
days, and I call them, and they'd be like, "Whoa, that dude remembered my number. Why wouldn't I remember your number? You don't think you're special enough?" Or
Guys don't even ask for your number anymore. I had this guy actually recently. I think it was on St. Patrick's Day. On St. Patrick's Day, this guy did something, and I called him out on it right away. But I still kind of fell for it, even though I didn't really want to give him my number. Have you guys seen that? There's this guy on. There's this guy on. And honestly, it was because I just didn't like being played like that. And instead of saying, "Hey, can I get your number? I'd love to take you out," he just goes, "Put your number in my phone." I was like, okay, well, sure, I'll do that. And they did a whole thing on this on YouTube. This guy just did this, and sure enough, women would put their phone number in their phone.
And a fun thing I do, I'm just going to show everybody.
Did you put all the first 6 digits are right and that last one's not so right?
No, I did give him the legit phone number, but I never responded to anything because I just wasn't interested, and I wasn't interested in being played like that, like demanding, like put your number in my phone.
Why did you give it to him then?
Because it's a psychological, it's a Jedi mind trick.
Confidence that he had that she did not deny. So what I do is I go, "Oh, cool."
Yeah, but
he trapped her. I want to go back to what Corey said.
Yeah,
she called it a Jedi mind trick because I know what she's talking about.
It's a Jedi mind trick.
It is. It's a Jedi mind trick, and basically, he backed her into a corner.
That's the Jedi mind trick. You seeing this?
I can't see that.
Yeah.
That a phone number's calling.
Yep. Don't show everybody the number.
Yeah. What are you doing?
Is that your number?
Boom.
Yeah, don't show everyone the number.
Yeah, that's how I do that. You don't do this like put it in your phone. Just get your phone. Call your phone.
Get her. Wait, hold on.
I just
grabbed your phone and called yours.
I called my phone.
Yeah.
She said
his number is 407.
You saw me get tired really quick. I had to change my number because I thought people would be like, "Is this Chris McCarty?" Oh God!
You got a little quiet. I felt you like shrivel up, like.
I did. Hey, listen, man. Y'all don't know what I've seen. You don't know what I've seen.
That was awesome.
Cords off camera was saying, "For a date, press 1."
Yeah.
If you just want a quick hookup, press 1 1 1 1 1.
If you would like to write a hit song, press 5.
Oh, that's great.
I know, but but like you said, yeah, I kind of felt backed into a corner, and it's kind of like if you do give them a fake number, then you're the bad person. It kind of puts you in this place of somebody demanding your number, and if you're a good person, you're going to give it to them. It's like no. I just, like I said, just left me kind of feeling like he didn't have the respect to say, "May I have your number?" I'd love to take you out. He backs you
into a corner. He sensed that he would be able to win that moment, and that's what he did. I think that's one of the things that we're talking about.
He won the battle, not the war.
Yeah, but didn't you feel a little off now that you gave him the number? You feel like a little bit.
That's why I didn't ever respond.
But that's what I'm telling people. You cannot. When you feel that thing in your gut, you must always follow that feeling because it's not a matter of that dude winning. It's a matter of how you are left.
I'd like to present you with something,
That guy's
Chris.
not even thinking about it, and that can take energy from you.
That feeling doesn't happen until you've put your number in that phone and you hit save, and then you went,
how did I just do that? We're old enough to know that she didn't want to do it. Once you know you're not going to do it,
not in that way. Not in that way. If he had approached it, like I said, if he had been sort of a gentleman about it and said, "Hey, I've really enjoyed talking to you. I would love to take you out or whatever. Let's go grab a drink." I might have said yes, but it just put me off. I thought, all right,
I'd like to hit a couple of things on our message board, or what do you call this thing? The comment section here.
Like message board. Yeah, right.
The comment section here.
Sports are back in the day.
This day in history.
Well, we were talking about people making these living online, just sitting there watching YouTube videos of people playing video games, whatever. My brother chimes in. He goes, his son, my nephew, does nothing but watch other people play video games on YouTube. He goes, "It's driving me nuts. I'm thinking about canceling the internet."
Cancel Christmas. Cancel the internet.
Do it. Here's a better question. Why do you have the internet then? Just answer that before your brother. Why do you guys have the internet?
Well, he is
let him answer. Let him answer. I just want to know because I'm saying we're going to get to
again, this is
cancel
just,
that bad boy.
Things are changing. So and I'm not a parent, so I don't know how I would handle this. But I mean, you know, there are parents, including my siblings, that are restricting literally FaceTime on computers and things like that with my nephew. Oops, I'm calling you accidentally. And
there's no accidents.
There are no accidents. But you know, what is that going to accomplish? Because the way things are going already, I mean, I can't. On the way here, I saw people in their cars looking at their phones. You know,
wait, what is it going to accomplish if he cancels the internet at his house?
If he cancels the internet and/or restricts FaceTime, usage of the internet, because that's not the life. That's not the world they're going to live in.
I'm going to answer that question. He won't be on the internet watching it and wasting time, and he'll find another way to spend his time.
Well, but so my brother's as an adult, go ahead.
He's answered. Ready? His first answer is my wife. And secondly, porn.
What was the question?
Why have the internet?
Why have the internet?
Oh. Okay, so then I say this: who's more important? You, your wife, or your child?
All right, let me also interject. They are also a family that's already gotten rid of their cable
or the internet. Oh, really? A lot of people have done that.
Yeah, they don't have a cable anymore. So the internet is what they're down to.
Then whatever he's watching it on, take it away from him, man. You intrinsically know that that's not necessarily a good thing for this child. So just get it off.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. I don't. I know research is telling us we are all addicted to our phones,
yes.
Right? And kids, it's so intuitive for them, but things aren't going to change. There's not going to be a day in the near future, certainly in their lifetime, when they're not going to use the internet every single day.
Not unless there's a collapse in civilization.
Right.
That's not changing.
I was helping raise a child. She was 9, right? She became my stepdaughter. Well, I don't know if... Well, divorced, I don't know if you call her my ex-stepdaughter. I don't know how that works. But when she was 10, she was trying so hard to get a phone. I said, one question. Tell me why you need a iPhone.
You're like, I'll wait.
There was because they don't need one. So I can ask that question if you can give me a very real reason why you need it.
Because Kayla has one.
Exactly. I don't care about Kayla. And who's Kayla? I just been your random
person.
What
if there's an emergency at school? Then they won't be able to call you.
You could have a flip phone, which is what we gave her. You can have this little itty bitty digital phone, and there it was. And you can call me. You don't need the internet because all the internet's going to do is make these children grow up and be little adults, and they're not ready for that. And I remember seeing porn. I was 13. It was me and my buddies. 13. This is like you were staying at the guy's house. He's got the older brother, and the first time in that, I had no idea what that
on the internet, or you saw like Playboy
on a tape. He had it on a VHS tape.
Oh, a VHS tape,
and that has done some irrevocable damage to, like, for a while, anyways. For like, the way I would have sex.
It's not damage.
It would have to.
Impacted you,
and it made things a little different. So it's like, and I've had some back when I was like 20s. Girls be like, man, we always seem to have like porn sex, and I'm like, because that's what I initially came into. So it took time. Absolutely.
Which means like no kissing, right? I mean, that's
there was kissing.
Well, that's what porn sex is.
It was just like,
wow,
we gonna get it. Let's get it on, like animalistic, right? And as I got older and you start finding love, and like you get better, you take your time and you slow down, and you want to really make it.
And remember their name and stuff.
Brown chicken, brown cow.
You know what I mean? Hey, look at everyone getting hot in here. Take off all your anyway.
So it's funny.
I still say again, it's important and imperative for parents to don't be punk parents and be friends with your kids. Like, your job is not to be their friend. Your job is to be their parent and raise good adults that can function in society. And I'm telling you, you little kid who's 9, 10 years old looking at porn, what type of kid do you think that's going to be, man? And then your grandkids.
I know, we're going to find out.
So how funny. So in the same timeline here, right? The same, comment section that we have here, you have my brother posting that he's frustrated. He wants to get rid of the internet because his son's sitting there watching kids play video games. And then you go down, you see Joey Fox go, did you see my daughter's video I shared yesterday? So he's sitting down one end. We got one father going, oh, my kid's on the internet too much. And the next father's going, hey, did you see my daughter's new video? Make sure you go like it and subscribe.
But it depends on what the video is. Let's say she's saying something, if she's playing video games, well, then you're just perpetuating our issue. But if it's something else that she's bringing into the table, like, well, maybe there's some reason for it. Is she playing music? Is she showing how to teach kids how to play the piano? Hey, that's kind of cool, music, art. Here's some artwork. But if it's just wasting time, like, we all know the difference of wasting time and not wasting time.
Okay, is wasting time snuggling up in front of your television for 7 hours, 8 hours, 9 hours on a Sunday because you want to watch your favorite football team go play football games?
If you're a kid, and if it's one time a week and that's the day you want to just veg out, I'm cool with. If you're doing everything you're supposed to do, 7-day rest, I don't care. I look at it like this: if you can handle it and it doesn't disrupt who you are and what you need to be doing, cool. I take away if you can't handle it. So the girl back then, her mom like kind of went in at one point when she was 11, gave her that little phone, took off certain aspects. Little girl was lying about something. Right, wasn't supposed to be on the phone. She took it away. Why? Because you can't handle this. And if this is going to make you step out of who you are as a person telling the truth or whatnot, you don't need it right now. You're ready for it. And that was just my whole thing. Now, I step out of the picture. Apparently, she's a completely different 15-year-old now, but that's...
For the better or the worse?
You can't control everything. You can't control everything. You can't even control all the stuff in your own child's world, much less somebody... Chris.
Wait, what?
You can't control everything in your own child's world, much less somebody else's child's world.
I'm saying in my house, again, we're talking about my child is watching this, and I'm just saying, hey, for your children, if you want to get a little bit more of a grasp on them, and they will respect you if you say no. But they respect kids. Listen, man, we all like to be in order. And they don't know. I can't let the little 10-year-old doesn't know anything about life run there. No, dude. When you get out of the house, cool. But that's just me. Again, it's just me. I'm not saying I'm dad of the year, but a lot of people respect me as a dad.
Yeah.
That is true.
I'm sure. Mm-hmm. All right. All right. So we got a couple of things to get to today.
Yeah, dad of the year. What are you talking about? Oh, God.
We have Corey Dillon in studio. Corey, I also worked with for quite a few years when she and I were at Cox Media Group. Well, it's just Cox. It wasn't Cox Media Group.
Cox Radio.
Cox
wasn't
Radio.
It? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
When we were there, I was over at 97X, and she was at 101.5. You were at the Point.
I was also at 97X under the name Jordan for about a year.
That's right.
I think I did middays.
Yeah, those are
top secret.
Yeah.
I know. Those were the days.
All right. Well, let's get to a couple of the topics of the day. One, Alec Baldwin's Trump. So, you guys know who Rob Schneider is, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Rob Schneider, a comedian who has, we joke basically. He's
SNL.
Ridden the coattails of Adam Sandler for the last, 20 years or so. But I guess in some circles he's respected. I don't personally care for I have an anecdote. I have a story concerning him that where he's an a-hole.
What did he do?
Have you met him?
I was about to say what? What's going on?
I'm guessing I met him once or twice. Have you met him?
In studio.
When they come through the comedy clubs,
right.
They come through the radio stations and do their little tour to try to get people to the comedy clubs. And he was like this. He brought his own little thing to brew tea. Like he plugged it in, and he was very kind of hipster. It was.
That's cool. Was he nice to you?
He was nice. Yeah.
Did he hit on you?
No.
Okay.
No.
And what did you see, Chris?
Did he hit on you, Chris?
He did not hit on me,
okay.
But he was a horrible interview and did not want to be there,
right.
and let you know that the only reason he was there is because contractually he was obligated to be there through the club, and it was the last place that he wanted to be, so he sat there, and it was one of the worst, if not the worst.
Are those the words that he said to you?
Well, this was a long time ago.
You're saying he let me know this is the way. That's was he direct, or was he just kind of acting like he didn't want to be there?
I don't remember exactly what he said at the time, but he let it be known that he did not want to be
And this
there.
is off air before you went on to interview him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then sat there and just was the absolute worst interview. I think it lasted like a minute or two, and then he left. And then afterwards, we're sitting there just going, what the hell, man? You're Rob Schneider, for God's sakes. Come in here, give us, some stupid line from your whatever.
You can do it.
Yeah, you can do it. Give me, you
Something.
can do it a couple times. We'll ask you some questions about Adam Sandler and Saturday Night Live, and then, hopefully some people go see your set.
Let me ask you this. What's going on with him right now? Watch this.
All right. So
what's going on with him right now, though?
So I have no idea. I don't follow.
And that's my point.
Yeah.
So right?
Well, he lose though, so here we go.
Wait, he what?
It's just biting the hand that feeds you, essentially, is what happens.
Wait, see, I apologize.
Right, that's what's leading me into this here,
gotcha.
because actually, after reading this, I've got I had zero respect for the man. Now I'm up to a 1 out of 1 of 10 because he called out Alec Baldwin's character, his Trump character, and did it, I think, in a from a very comedic standpoint. And not only do I think he's onto something, but Alec Baldwin even went, you know what? He's right. So here we go, because I'm curious on what you guys think about. We'll talk a little bit about Trump, the culture that is permeating. Well, not culture, the politics that's permeating our culture right now. But here we go. So Rob Schneider is doubling down on his comments. He said the former SNL regular took to Twitter a day after his interview in the New York Daily News was published to clarify his remarks on Baldwin and how the actor has let his personal politics take center stage. He says, quote, "Comedy needs surprise. It must keep you guessing," Schneider posted on Twitter. "It should not be afraid to shock or offend. It should attack the powerful and arrogant, but it must come from a place of inspiration where it made the writer laugh." Schneider criticized the decades-old improv show for, quote, "letting the cat out of the bag by showing which way it leans politically." He goes, "You kind of assume they would lean more left and liberal, but now they are completely against Trump, which I think makes it less interesting because you know the direction the piece is going." He says the comedian compared Baldwin's performance to comedian Dana Carvey's impression of George H.W. Bush in the late 80s and the 90s. Saying that Baldwin's impression of Trump different from Carvey's playful impersonation of Bush. Quote, "Carvey played it respectfully. To me, the genius of Dana Carvey was Dana always had empathy for the people he played, and Alec Baldwin has nothing but a fuming, seething anger towards the person he plays." And you know what? Rob Schneider's right.
Baldwin's not a comedian, first of all.
What's that?
Baldwin is not a comedian.
Well, he does comedic acting.
Yeah, comedic acting.
You know,
but
his impersonation.
Dana Carvey is a comedian.
Right.
Those dudes are naturally playful. True. 1, 2, we're talking about two different presidents, man. When people were like offended by George W., I'm pretty sure that people were way more offended with Trump than they were George W. back in the day.
But that doesn't even matter. It doesn't
I'm
matter.
Just saying it's just apples and oranges. It's like it's easy to. I just feel like, no offense, I feel like what he said is very predictable.
So Alec Baldwin tweeted, "I must admit, Rob Schneider does have a point."
That's the most shocking thing.
That is
Alec Baldwin
because he's a huge ego.
Right.
That's a huge ego in Alec Baldwin.
Oh yeah.
Listen, we all got a streak of ego in us, you know, in the media industry, entertainment industry. But that is definitely a huge ego. And he went, "You know what? You're right."
Well, so what's he going to do about it? Anything? Is anything going to change? I mean, is he going to play up the lighter side of Trump? I don't know.
What you have to do is you have to get it can't be Baldwin, it has to be some other writers that are in the room, or at least one writer in the room that can come from that angle where it's empathy and fun, even though every other writer in the room can't stand Donald Trump, you know?
Yeah.
I think you have I think that's what Schneider's trying to say, and he nailed it. So what have you thought about the politics so far with Donald Trump in office? Because the thing about those of us that have been in the media a long time, like Corey and I, especially radio, we pick off of pop culture, right? So Donald Trump has been somebody that's been in our, periphery.
Lexicon.
Yeah, our crosshairs and our periphery since we first got into radio. I remember back in the early 90s, Seinfeld doing parodies of Donald Trump and stuff. So to me,
I remember the pizza commercials with Ivana. You remember that? And she called him the Donald. Oh yeah, they did like pizza. I don't know if it was Pizza Hut or what commercials they did, but
that sounds familiar now.
He's always been this sort of celebrity. He's been a celebrity, no matter what he was doing, and he played on that. He loved that. He wanted to be an actor, didn't he?
I think so.
Years ago, he wanted to be an actor, but his father wasn't having it, so he went to business school.
Yeah, he just wanted to be popular.
So have you gotten
popular in power?
Have you gotten caught up in the politics, Corey? Are you?
I try not
you fallen down on right or left, or
I try not to, and if I'm a registered independent, I vote, certain issues. I don't vote policy, or I don't vote party.
Right.
I vote policy and certain politicians, but there are people that are all the way to the right and all the way to the left, and they'll hate me no matter what decision I make because it doesn't align with their beliefs, and everybody just wants to be right, especially on Facebook. I don't have a stomach for people fighting and trolling on Facebook and on Twitter because I just think it's stupid.
Do you find yourself rereading a Facebook post over and over again to make sure if it has anything to do with pop culture that may have to do with that may be skewed political at all? Do you choose your words carefully now?
Yeah, or I just don't post about that because that's not sort of the focus of my life at this point. The focus of my life is trying to help other people and inspire other people. that are trying to make their way in this gig economy because that's the way things are going.
Oh, we've never even talked about that issue. Some of the things that I've been reading over the past year or two, is that terminology that she just brought up. They're calling it, my brother first shared it to me, with me, gig economy.
Yep.
And explain correct me if I'm wrong, but a gig economy is basically saying we live in a time where instead of sitting there and finding that one job and going in and working for that company for all your days, or trying to be an entrepreneur, to find multiple things that you do and basically have like multiple part-time jobs, right?
Yeah. What are your skills?
Yeah.
In fact, I have a conversation with a guy that works at Microsoft. I'm from the Seattle area originally, and one of my high school classmates works at Amazon, and he said, hey, I showed this friend of mine who works in the gig economy space for Microsoft a video that you posted on LinkedIn, and so I have a conversation with him today. I don't have any idea what that's going to be about, but in this day and age, something like the president and certainly all politicians like to brag about how many jobs have been created in the last year. Something, I think, around the number 40% of those jobs have been self-created. I mean, people are self-employed. We're going back down that entrepreneurial path, which I do think is good because
It sucks a little bit too, but...
Well, I mean, it's a challenge, and the learning curve is very hard, but it's also kind of rewarding to, I created an LLC for my own company, this umbrella under which I'm doing TV and social media and voiceover, and I kind of love it, and people are like, well, what do you want to do? I said, I want to keep doing all this. I mean, it'd be nice to have
that. Listen, it'd be nice to have that radio gig that once was for me, where you go in and you do a show and you do your gigs and you're making $130,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year. But I don't know. I don't know if that's there for me.
Well, but here's the thing. Here's what I've picked up on. What radio is doing is they're still trying to acquire the social media influencers right now. Your history and your experience in radio, Chris. They don't even care. Like a couple of years ago, I met a guy is still a radio executive, and instead of asking me how are your ratings, the first question about my background or current experience, he said, "Well, how many followers do you have?" And I thought, what? Why do you care? I mean, that doesn't make for good radio. But that's what I see them hiring. I see them hiring social media influencers, people that have been on reality TV shows, people that have something going on in a different world, because what they're hoping is that those people's followers will come to radio, which, their ratings may suck, but they're getting national syndication deals.
They're doing the same thing in a lot of industries, including the hospitality industry, talking with the general manager of Ducky's. And by the way, start Ducky's Trivia Night on May 15th, late night trivia nights.
Good.
But he says he's doing the same thing and makes no apologies. He goes, I used to look for the best servers. He goes, now I look for the servers with the most followers.
Really?
And part of their job is to let them know when their shifts are.
Oh my God!
That's part of you could, if you're sitting in here and you're a great server, that's all well and good. It's not going to bring customers in.
Well, and part of the frustration for me is, there are people in this market in Tampa that claim to have 70, 80, 100,000 followers on Twitter in particular, and they paid for them.
Yeah.
Some people say it doesn't matter, whatever. It's the perception that they're giving off, and people buy it hook, line, and sinker. They're like, but they're so popular. I'm like, no, they're not. They paid for those followers.
Yeah.
$50, $49.99 can buy you 800 followers.
I feel guilty. I think it's because of I have a religious background, and so there's almost this little thing that pings me because of the followers thing. And I don't know if it also has to do with dealing with my own, ego over the years, but I don't like that feeling of, oh, these are my followers. I'm like, they're not I guess because, Corey, to me, everything's always been about a connection with the listener or the viewer or my community. And so a relationship, like a true, honest relationship between whatever I was doing and those that were listening, not,
because it was authentic.
Right.
It's superficial and inauthentic. And a lot of these radio shows are putting on these, it's a complete scam, but people buy it hook, line, and sinker, like that blind date thing or second date update or whatever. I mean, these are not even really actors.
Or do they still do the Battle of the Sexes or Roses or War of the Roses?
Yeah. It's completely fake, but it brings in listeners, apparently.
Well, let's explain what we mean by fake. We mean it's not real. The people that you have on the phone, it's like, oh, you know, those, right? It's called War of the Roses, I think is what they do here.
There's a bunch of different names for it. Basically, it's a supposedly a secret phone call, you know, to somebody. Who answers their phone anymore? Some random number's calling you.
Right.
I know, but that doesn't happen that much
Chris,
anymore.
got 1 second.
But on the radio, they always answer like on the third ring. You're like,
yeah,
right.
I don't know.
It's theater of the mind. So in some regards, you know, I respect that. I mean, it's entertainment. But the fact that people buy it hook, line, and sinker, and it's helping people's ratings is just, it drives me a little crazy.
I bought into, or I was a part of that theater of the mind. I always approach it like it's theater of the mind, it's theater of the mind, it's theater of the mind. It wasn't until years and years and years into it that I realized it's not theater of the mind. The people on the other side of the speakers are not thinking they're listening to theater. They think they're listening to something that is real. When you get on, this is before your cell phone, but when you got on and said it's 7:59, people reached down and changed their clock to 7:59 because the DJ said it was 7:59. When you said the weather, or when you said a fact, or this and that, it registered as true. Yeah. They never knew that, you know, some of the stuff they were listening to in the radio was quote unquote theater of the mind, which is basically us bullshitting them.
You know, I'll tell you, man. I wanted to comment on what you said, Chris, about having a problem with followers. That's your ego, and it's in check in its own way. I remember not wanting to say I had fans, but wanted to say I had friends. I felt like if you liked my music, then we like the same kind of music, then we probably like the same things in pop culture, and we think the same way. But as I've gotten older, I mean, you know, to be a fanatical, be a fan of something, I mean, it's not, if your ego is in check, then you could call it what it is. Just, you know,
look at them as supporters, you know, people that support what you're doing.
There you go, friends support you, you know, supporters. I mean, but I still think anything's necessarily wrong with it. I feel like that's almost you basing that statement what someone else might think. And like, oh my God, he's such an egotistical dude. But that's what I'm like, but that's the problem. Like, again, you're losing when you put your yardstick on with somebody else. It's not about anyone else. It's just, you know, it is what it is. People are going to think, as she said, they're going to think however they're going to think. It's just but it's not your or my business to know what anyone is thinking.
Yeah.
All right. Let's hit a couple more things before we get out of here, because today, Chris, do I have you for a few minutes after the show? Can you stick around?
Absolutely.
All right.
I got a text. Nah, man, you got fans. I appreciate you, brother.
Because you're going to help me move some stuff afterwards. We're going to get the set up for tomorrow.
Well, that's the least I can do because I'm not going to be there.
All right. By the way, Nikki says, I've always been independent. I want what's best for our safety, and I want my rights protected. That's what... With that said, I'm very open about my voting for Trump. I wanted a change. It's a chance we all take when we vote. Change is definitely...
Well, thank God we have a vote. Each one of us.
That's true. All right, so speaking
of... don't complain if your vote doesn't win and start... that's the thing I can't stand when people start...
Yeah, why did I even vote? Because I didn't win.
It's just like, I can't... It just goes back and forth, man. I'm with you guys on that. I don't really talk about political anything. I mean, I did it one time. If you go on my Facebook, here I am putting in my Facebook. Back in October, there's a video where I have this blue tank top on. Just watch that, and you'll see someone tiptoeing the line so well, and it was great. There are many, I think it was like 3,000 some comments, maybe, I don't know, likes. Yeah. And it was people from both sides being like, I really appreciate, because it was not, I'm in the side of the world, man. I'm in the side of us as people. I'm not in anyone's side. I just want everyone to be happy, and I just remember that everyone's gonna die at some point. So stop getting so.
I'm tired of the burner comments versus a conversation. I mean, you can't.
What do you mean? Oh, okay.
You know,
the one-liners,
just the name calling. You know, whatever. It's just, to me, it's stupid.
Weakness,
seeing people destroying their
weak.
Yeti coolers are not really destroying them. They're just like taking off the stickers, thinking that's a big commentary on the fact that I guess Yeti is supporting, you know,
something that's not them.
Something that doesn't support their beliefs. You know, I don't know. Just and the Facebook fights. I'm over it.
But you take the moment to try to teach them after you read that. Do you take a moment to be like,
no, because it doesn't work. It doesn't work. You can't. I have not seen too many of those thoughtful conversations on Facebook on anything I've posted. Like I said, it's just people either attacking you and your point of view, or you know, turn and burn. They'll like
send this to you.
Send you a burn, and then they will, you know, like unfriend you and block you, so you can't even retort. It's just stupid.
But the thing is even with those people, which I know they exist.
Oh yeah.
I don't care if you're showing me that, you know, you're a little like, as in we talk about evolution a lot here. And like if you're not an evolved spirit,
right?
forgive them, Father, they know that what they do. And some people are so, again, they're more comfortable. They're not really comfortable with themselves or in their own skin,
right,
to be able to do that. And it's part of the sickness that I feel that the world has of people, especially in the United States, as separate. We're separate from you, and you're separate from you, and it's almost tribal, like our tribe, your tribe,
right.
you know. And
you're trying to take away my rights.
And I just feel like once I recognize someone has a sickness, I just kind of, I'm going to send this video to you, and maybe we could talk about it later. But
also, Shriner, you know Shriner, right?
Of course. Hey, Shriner.
He wants to remind everybody that if you register as an independent in Florida, you are registered for an actual party, the Independent Party. If you are looking to be independent, then make sure you click or you check no party affiliation.
Yeah, no, I don't remember. I don't know. I know I couldn't vote in the preliminaries because, well, you're not registered as a Republican or a Democrat.
Right.
I know.
I've been no party affiliation since I was 18 years old, switched over to Republican once, and that lasted for like a year or two, and then went back to no party affiliation.
Yeah.
That's been it for me since. And I like it right
I've just never wanted to belong to that group that would have me, isn't that a famous Groucho Marx? Never wanted to belong to a club that would have me as a member.
Exactly.
Like,
Sit there and bitch and moan that you're not getting invited into the club, and then when they invite you into the club, you're like, there's got to be something wrong with you then. If you're inviting somebody like me into the fold. All right, let's continue a little bit of the social discussion. Kanye West praises March of Our Lives hero Emma Gonzalez. Did you guys see this story 2 days ago?
Yeah. No. Kanye's made lots of headlines
It's a new song
this week.
out that we should definitely listen to.
Right. Well, he's got a new out. He's got something out, right?
Right.
Yeah,
That's the reason.
it's pretty good. In its own way.
He's not stupid when it comes to self-promotion, that's for sure.
No. So anyway, he had tweeted out last week his support for the president, and then there was some backlash there. But then he tweeted out support for somebody on the other side of the political spectrum, and that is Emma Gonzalez. This is one of the kids coming out of Parkland, or one of the students coming out of Parkland. She's been very vocal, one of the faces of the, what is it, the movement? Not enough is enough. No more shoot no more. What's the hell's the movement?
Oh gosh, I know, that's a good question.
You remember what I'm talking
about? Never Again?
Never Again, yes, the Never Again movement.
I'm with that.
So he tweeted out a picture of her. So here we go. Here's on your screen. He tweets this out and just simply writes, my hero, Emma Gonzalez, right? Well, she was having none of that. She responds by tweeting out this picture of James Shaw Jr. and says, my hero.
Yeah.
James Shaw Jr. But the great thing about this, this girl's 18 years old, right?
She's kind of wise beyond, just mature beyond her years,
I think that's why those the people on the far right are losing their minds, because they got to go, these are crisis actors. They can't be real because they're so smart. They've got it together. And what a great comeback, because she didn't directly go back at Kanye. She went, what? No.
So what she said is, this is a real hero. I'm not a hero.
Real hero.
Kind of like the guy who said, hey, I'm not a hero. I was just trying to save my own life.
That's him.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Kind of like the same, hey, I'm not a hero.
Oh, I see.
She's saying the same thing, like, hey, we're...
Yeah, so that's that guy who saved some... Well, 4 people ended up dying, but he saved some lives when he wrestled the gun away from the shooter in that Waffle House 2 weeks ago.
Right.
And then Kanye West tweets out a picture of himself just staring into the camera, and it says, inspired by Emma. Okay.
So I'm a big fan of Eminem.
All right.
And Eminem is, in a lot of ways, and as a matter of fact, I'll say Eminem, George Clooney, and Brad Pitt, they are all masterminds of how to manipulate interviews and just social media. They know, like Eminem knew, okay, controversy is going to give me some clicks. So he does controversy, and everyone's like, ugh. And it's kind of like what Rob Schneider was saying. Sometimes you want to be offended, you want to be taken apart, which is why I was like, dude, I've heard that from another comedian, which is why I'm not trying to give Rob Schneider a bunch of props. I already heard that comment, so whatever. But Kanye, how is he doing anything differently in this situation? I mean, it's I'm going to talk about Trump, and then I'm going to go here, and then it could be the same thing, getting people to be, and at the end of the day, he's like, like wearing the rebel flag hat. I guess he sat on that for like a year, and then I'm just going to do me. And it's just, again, controversy, and now everyone's talking about it. So, the Brad Pitt and George Clooney reference, those guys, when they're being interviewed, they know exactly what to say to not get anyone really the answer they're looking for, but to look like they care, but they really don't care.
It's like the charm offensive with those guys.
It's amazing.
I think.
So
yeah,
it could be a game, and that's what I'm saying. Like, you're being pawns in someone's game of blah blah blah. Like, and look at us, we're talking about it, which is ultimately what they were wanting.
That's kind of the old school approach, you know, your old school Hollywood celebrity, those who became celebrities or politicians or baseball players, they had that conversation with somebody who knew, and that's the way you handled yourself publicly. But in this new era, and it has been punctuated by the president, the personality that we have in the White House, that you don't have to play, you don't have to be fake, you know, anymore. They said, no, you have to go out there and you have to put this for, you know, I was just talking about Post Malone the other day and with some friends of mine, and his first release was a song called White Iverson. And Post Malone is a white guy from Texas. He's doing very well for himself in the music industry right now, and a little eclectic too. You know, the songs on the radio that are his club bangers, his hip hop songs. But he's also has music where it's just him and an acoustic guitar. So his producers, his management, the record companies that he was dealing with at the time came to him and said, you cannot release that song. A white guy from Texas can't release for his first song, a song called White Iverson with those kinds of lyrics. You're not going to go anywhere. He goes, once you establish yourself and you get your feet under you, then you can release that song, but you can't go with that first. He goes, you're fired, you're fired, you're fired, you're fired, and you're fired. Everybody get the F out. I'm going to do it this way. And he's doing very well. I don't know where I was going with that.
I don't know. But like Chance the Rapper, has Chance the Rapper, I saw Chance the Rapper at Janice Landing before I had ever heard of Chance the Rapper. I just happened to stumble upon his show there. I don't even think he won the Grammy, for Best New Artist, I think.
I believe so.
I think it was for Best New Artist. He won a Grammy, but I don't even know if he's still signed to a record label. So he's definitely calling his own shots. And in this gig economy, that's what you can do. I mean, because we have the internet, because we have everything connected to our phones, you can do whatever it is that you want to do.
Best New Artist.
Yeah, Best New Artist. There you go. And nobody can have a say.
But I think we got on that topic because we're talking about people manipulating and either saying this to, you know, creating conflict or whatever to get exposure and not trying to do and tiptoeing certain lines and playing by certain rules. And it's like, I'm not playing by these rules. I'm going to be authentic, which is what the theme of today, authenticity wins. Regardless if it may take a little bit. Like, here's a great example. I've never paid for one like on Facebook. I've just been playing music and playing music and playing music. I'm close to 10,000 likes on Facebook.
Yeah.
That's
now,
awesome. I
know that when people see me, they're like, that dude's legit, because I just love it. So I don't care how famous I once was. Like, you know how far I was getting. And the same with you. Like, you were that $150,000. You were that guy. I remember the time we first went out. We went to Push Ultra Club, you and I. And I remember how everyone was freaking out that you were there. And I'm like, this is so cool because no one's saying anything about me. And it was like about you. And so here you and I are, two dudes who were pretty popular at one point in our lives. And now we're coming to do this thing and people are into it. Why? Because we are authentic. We're not necessarily doing what other people think that we should do or in the mainstream we're buying. We're just sticking to just you and I and watch what happens.
All right. Well, let's read. Can you guys help me make sense of this post here?
Okay.
Do you know Thomas Montgomery, by the way, Chris?
No.
Buy your rights, and B-U-Y, buy your rights have been taken from you, black man. If you call yourself that, really, man, wake up and see reality, not a trigonometry on your mind at all, but it's never too late to change your way of thinking.
You might be talking about Kanye.
Oh, Kanye?
He might be.
Oh, okay.
You thought he was talking to me?
I wasn't sure. I was trying to make, because it didn't make any sense.
Okay, so he's saying, say it again. Buy your.
All right, but then now he goes. It's sad to say that our minds have been hacking minds of America. They use for all blacks that can't see the real picture of their oppressors, that has a shackle on their minds with destruction around the world, so they can't. All right, I'm sorry. We're going back to the Moors.
Everybody's an expert. You know, that's the thing about Facebook. You know, everybody's like, I see the light. You don't see the light.
This might be our first troll.
I don't know.
Wait. Let's all just bring it back for a second.
All right.
Okay. So here's a person that none of us know. Clearly, there's emotion behind it because he's giving us a lot. So we're not going to jump on and be like, so let's just slow it down for a second. the fact that he's talking about the oppressing and oppressors and shackles, there may be some truth to that, like in the degree of like we're all addicted to our cell phones, we're all just following like mindless. I mean, there may be. So I think I understand that. The black man thing. I don't know if you're black. If you are black, it's great to speak about black people. If you're not, you don't.
Yeah,
really
but hold on. When he
black.
talks about this last line when he says the true facts about the Moors among this world, isn't that a derogatory? Talking about the Moors, isn't that derogatory?
I don't know.
Okay.
I just say this again. I just say this.
That's a lot of info.
There is some truth about us being blinded by society, and there are things that they just want us to buy into, and it's like caring more about clothes and shoes. And I feel like, again, it's what people measure success. We've changed it. Now people measure success in the number of likes you have. They measure success in the car you drive or the house. And then I feel like people like me, people like you, and people like her, it's more of a success in living your dream.
Yeah.
And following the dream that came to you from somewhere, that was something that came to you. And being okay with stepping in who you are and pushing just the level for yourself, and then it helps other people to push themselves, and we all kind of evolve together. That's, to me, to have succeeded.
Have you guys seen the documentary and or read the book or heard of these guys that call themselves the minimalists?
No.
I've watched it a couple of times, I think on Netflix or Amazon, I'm not sure which one, but just super fascinating. And it's so true that we are all pushed to just consume, buy more. It's going to make you happy.
But they tell
and
us
you don't even realize you're on this path until it's kind of in your face. And you're like, you know what? He's right.
But if you talk to them, they'll tell you that they're not doing that it's our choice. That we
no,
want these
choice.
These things, that all they're doing is just putting them out there in front of us.
I know, but I watched this documentary and I was like, you know what? Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm selling my house right now. And I ran into this colleague and she's like, oh, are times that tough right now? I'm like, well, no. I mean, I'm actually going to sell my house for an enormous profit. And by the way,
you bought into what she did. You bought into it. She got you.
Well, no,
Think
because
about it. You were defending
but I just
yourself.
Thought, no, I actually didn't.
Did you
I don't even remember what I
for
said to
enormous
her
profit?
in response. I was like,
If you
oh
didn't
no,
say enormous
I'm
profit,
kind of
then
like,
cool.
I've owned it for 14 years. I don't know that I said that.
Okay,
I
good.
just kind of said, I'm looking to kind of free up myself and free up my time. I want to do some traveling and I want to get off the consumption wagon. And just get out there and really see the world and do my thing. I can do voiceover from anywhere in the world.
Right.
With
That's the way I see it too.
All my
guess
equipment,
my
which
point
is I can
just
fit in a
don't
backpack.
want you trying to justify your actions to anyone.
Well, I don't even. I'm doing it more to you guys than I think I did for her, because I just was I was caught off guard by her impression of me telling her that I was selling my house.
Right.
Most people have been like, "Great time to sell, good for you, that's amazing."
Right. I guess it's the
and
second
she just was
thing.
like,
It's the second time I've
tough?
heard someone bullying you.
Oh well.
The first one was the dude
That's
put your
the tip of
number
the
and you
iceberg.
did it, and then it's like,
Yeah.
why are you hard times? It's like.
Well, I do want to
It
come
is
back to
whatever
that
you
point
want
of
to
the
be,
conversation
man.
because you were talking about that. You feel like we are being shepherded. We're
Yes.
being herded
Yes.
into, and if you don't keep up with the latest in technology, or
Yes.
this and this and this, then you're out. Then there's something wrong with you. Then eventually you're antisocial
But
and
you
you're on
know
the
what?
fringe of
But
society.
This is why there's
Or a
this
failure.
show. This
A
is
failure.
why there's this show. The three of us have gone to very big heights in what people in society would look at. Like, I got a phone call from the White House.
Damn.
3
Who was
days,
it? Who was calling you
3
from the White
days,
House?
George W. 3 days
George
after.
W.?
Well, he didn't call me himself, but 3 days after our band broke up. So that's to say that at one point I was chasing the Grammys and chasing the look and chasing the fame, and then it was like, oh my God, it's not. It's not even real. And then Chris, same thing. And at the same time, you and I both broke off from that. Like, and now here we are, different, not biting that candle. Maybe we ate the red pill in the Matrix, it referenced the Matrix, and we're really looking at life for what it is. And I just my measure of success is a little different. So if this show is a trendsetter, like she was saying, maybe that's why we're here, to help bring back a little bit of balance. Because at the end of the day, crazy famous, not famous, I don't care who you are. I don't think there's anyone that can do what I do. And that's just for me being cool. So when people see it, cool. So what does that mean? That means that fame stuff isn't necessarily what means it's great. Just like she said, just because you have likes doesn't make you a great server. I would rather be bad ass at what I do and not worry about fame. And I'm there, but it's gonna come because now I don't care about
And
it.
inspired. I mean, inspired by what we're all doing for yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's what I mean, man.
All right. So Thomas has followed up.
like
Thomas Montgomery has followed up. If we want to try to continue, because I think
he followed up?
I think I'm starting to
understand what he's saying?
I think.
Okay.
So now he goes. He knows the truth. He knows the truth about Moors of this world. It's in our history book.
He who?
I'm
just asking you, comments. Clarify that. Keep going.
But they refuse to let that out to our children that can find so much knowledge about the oppressors that has taken away their true heritage.
He's saying the same stuff we're saying. He's on our side, by the way. So he goes, so man, you are so lucky that this man don't know his true history about himself and the freedom among this land. You might be talking about Kanye. Are you talking about Kanye? Please answer that yes or no.
Are you talking about, who are you talking about?
Yeah. What you talking about?
Yeah, but at the end of the day, like, you hear what he's saying? He doesn't want our children being blinded to BS, which is the same stuff I'm saying. Turn off the internet, go outside, make some friends. People are great at being like, I'm so cool, look how great I am, but they're not great anymore at actually developing relationships and connections. Like you said, our connection is swipe right or swipe left. And so I'm saying, this dude, hey, I think he's trying, and I have to commend someone for caring enough to take the time to say that.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Thomas. We're just trying to understand where you're coming from so we can get on the same page.
Yeah, that's all. We're not coming down on you. Just want to know exactly so we can.
It's hard with the written word. You don't have that person in front of you. You don't have the inflection of their voice.
The tone. Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
But she's right about that. We all do think we know everything. I know I do. I make fun of myself in a song.
The only thing I'm an expert on is me, and I'm still learning, actually, about me. Really, it's the truth.
All I know is I know nothing.
Yeah.
There you go.
I swear that's where I'm trapped right now, right there. As soon as I go to make a decision, and start to analyze what I sit right back down and go. Oh,
but saying
because you're overthinking things, and I do that all the time too. It's just like more doing, less thinking, or less overthinking things. Just do what feels natural and what feels good, and keep doing it.
Just saying that you don't know anything allows you the ability to actually learn things. The people, the know-it-alls, don't know anything. I know. And then just shut off the ability to learn more, which is why, Chris, you do know a lot of things.
Okay, yeah. I know some stuff.
Yeah, we all do.
Right, we all
wouldn't be here if you didn't.
I'm impressed by everything that's going on here, Chris. That's why I wanted to come.
All right.
I begged. Admit it. I begged. I said, "Can I please come? I just want to. I just want to be in your aura."
Well, this is it. Here's the extent of my aura.
Okay.
Did you respond?
I was going to say thank you for watching the Wake.Show today.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me on the couch and elsewhere.
Now, Corey, are you doing a weekly podcast? Are you on TV? What are you doing?
I'm not doing a weekly podcast. I was doing a comedy podcast with one of the comedy clubs in town, but that just kind of
fizzled.
Well, it fizzled because I think it was a little bit ahead of its time, and unless something translates into a ticket sale immediately, some people don't get it, but that's fine. It's something I could easily ramp up again if I wanted to. What I'm primarily doing is voiceover and connecting with people. I'm doing HSN. I'm an on-air guest is what they call you. I'm not a host. They have their stable of hosts, but I'm an on-air guest, so I believe I'll be on again on May 8th.
What's that mean?
It means that I'm there to represent the product, whatever the product is. And they've got me in the tech category, which I love. It's pretty exciting to see just some of the new technology that's out there, and it's fun. So I'm doing that and doing some stuff with TMZ Live and WFLA TV, and just still kind of putting the resume out there to see who might want me.
I want to say this about what you said about fizzling out. It felt like your body kind of went down when you mentioned it. I look at it as you're on the path of success.
Well, that's the thing.
Did you hear what I just said?
Yeah. On the path to success. I know it's. I'm a late bloomer. I always tell people that I'm a late bloomer, but it's I don't have that crystal ball. And in selling my house, it's probably the biggest risk I've ever taken, because I'm running towards something, like jumping off a cliff, and I don't know what's on the other side of that jump. But things always turn out for the best.
Right.
They really do.
Right.
And I think losing a job in that moment, sometimes it can be hard, but the last time I was let go, I just said, all right, well, that's show business. So I got up and I walked out. Yeah, because it just means you're onto something bigger.
Yeah, that's where I was going to go with it. I was going with this kind of like a lesson for everyone in life. Just when it comes to success, you guys all must remember there's going to be adversity. You will be told no. That is part of it. You will be told no, and be okay with being told no. You're also going to have times where you're going to doubt yourself. That is part of it. You will doubt yourself sometimes, and just remember that when the no's come, to not take it personally, because it could thwart off that gift, that thing that only you got, and it can make you forget you got it.
Yeah, that energy.
Remember that.
That energy. No, it's so true. And I mean,
I saw you do this. I was like,
I go through that. I mean, it's so true. Rejection, lots of rejection in show business.
That's what it is. And then anything to be successful. Like, I've been told no before, and I've been told yes before. I've been told I was amazing. I've been told I'm not that good. It's part of it. You just keep on doing you, because again, at the end of the day, happiness is within you. It's your choice.
Yep.
You can be bitter or you can be better.
All right. It's a choice.
Chris is looking warm and fuzzy over
it's
there.
a choice. Happiness is a choice.
True.
Mm-hmm. Is it?
It's true, but it's deliberate. It is true, but it's deliberate.
Absolutely a choice. Like, I'll say this to you. If someone comes up to you and challenges something in you that you know that's not you, if you agree with it, you just chose to not be happy with inside. Period. If you disagree, you're like, no, this is what makes me happy, and I'm going to do it, and I don't care what you think, because it makes me happy. So guess what? Now you're unhappy because I didn't listen to you, but I'm happy. And a happy me is a happy everyone around me. Bring it. Try it for a week, and then come back and talk to me, and you'll see I'm right.
100 shows, Chris, that's a success.
Yeah.
That is absolutely a success.
But we'll see. It hasn't happened yet.
I only made it to 13.
We'll see. You see that? You see that? We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah,
and that's why you're not happy, because I would have said, you know what? Yeah, it is a success. What's the difference? If you said yes, it was successful, it is a success, you might feel a little bit instead of we'll see.
I tell you what, that's a great point. We'll start right now. Chris, Sam Miller, and Johnny Torres, this show has been a success. It has been a good show. Of course, everything can be improved. There's been moments. Stop. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I know. I'm sorry. We already do a dichotomy of life. I get it. Up, down, left, right. We understand. I don't care about
Nowhere
that.
to go but up.
Man.
Also, that being said, Kurt Schreiner, the show that I did with you was a really good show. Kelly Crangy, the show I did with you was a really good show. Seth and Danielle, the shows I did with you, really good shows, and so on. And here's why I said that out loud, because Chris, you're right. And also, the people that I've worked with over the years did not get enough credit, and not only that, but accolades from me, because nothing was ever good enough for me. Every single day, if you asked me how my show was, I would get nauseous, and because in my head it was the worst thing ever. It sucked, but we'll get back at it tomorrow. That continues to be the way my personality works. But I've been trying to. Right. Because it's not a choice. When I sit here and listen to Chris and Corey and anybody else start telling me, no, it's a choice when you do this, a choice when you do that, I question that. I do question that. How much of a choice we have in those moments, because I have a feeling it's our amygdalas, it's certain centers in our brains of fire.
Did you choose to change that just then? When you were like, did you choose that you chose to go, you're right.
Or am I just riding the wave?
And I say this to you, man, I believe now more than ever, I understand why that we've hooked up, because I would believe I'm one of the most positive people walking this planet. Just the stuff I tell my kids every day. No one does it better than you. The greatest ever did it. That I constantly tell you, you're proud of yourself. You're proud of yourself. So I think that you and I together, you give me 1 year, you will be speaking and thinking differently. I see it all the time. Right. I see it all the time. And now it makes sense that we're together, because I'm not going to let you talk some madness. Like, I'm not even trying to hear that.
Chris, will you help me reach my full potential as a man?
You're so dumb. Only you can help reach your own full potential as a man.
It was within you all along, Dorothy.
Only you. You do not use other people. That's like saying I need someone else to make me happy.
Yep.
You're right.
Doesn't work.
Thank you.
Within
you the whole time. Well, thank you so much. It was a really good show today. Really good conversation. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Corey Dillon for being in.
Yeah.
Chris, good luck over the next couple of days. Chris is not going to be part of the 100th episode tomorrow, nor will he. Well, you're not going to be back Friday either, right?
No, on Tuesday, I might come back Monday, but Tuesday, I'll come back and I'll sing the song that we wrote. Or songs plural. How cool would that be? Yeah.
He's going to Nashville to hook up with, what's his name again?
Chase Rice.
And I know he's a huge name, and I'm sorry. One day I'll remember his name. But as long as I remember yours, Chris.
Yeah, and I want to give a shout out to Natu. See how I spell his last name. He's also a fellow writer. Natu, he just hit me up, and we were downstairs listening to him doing some recording, and Quartz had him come through. Man, guys, just remember.
I saw some of his stuff.
Vicinia, Natu, last name Visia.
Is he Hawaiian or?
Yeah, we link up because when you look at him, people generally would probably not expect him to sound and sing and play the way he does. The guy's an amazing writer.
Spell that name again. I'll pull it up while you're talking.
Natu. last name Visinia. He used to be a professional fighter.
That's what he was.
So he's huge, dude. But when he sat down, I'm listening to these songs. He inspired me to be going into writing. And so which is interesting. As we're on the show right now, at 12:05 today. Great meeting you, man. Next time you're in Nashville, let's link up. I'm like, son, I'll be in Nashville tomorrow.
How funny.
And I'm like, I'm right with Chase. You know him, of course. Okay, so I'm just saying to everybody, check this guy. He's legit.
Hey, what's up,
and it's
everybody?
just like me. You see me, you would not expect me to do what I do. There he is. I see my boy.
Big teddy bear.
All right.
Yo, he's a great. Oh man, his energy is awesome, man. He's a good dude.
Yeah, find more people like that. You know,
No, I can't.
all of us.
I can't play.
Why you're here? That's why we're here, man.
You know, I don't want to get us kicked off YouTube, but we play like one. You know, they have the software, Corey.
Yeah.
Where
No,
they
I know.
Oh, you know?
I know. Oh, yeah, I know. I know. And Facebook too. I mean, they'll boot you right away if you play anything copyrighted.
Yeah, but I saw some of his stuff.
Two pair of shoes beneath my.
All right, that's enough. That's enough. That's all I can do.
Okay.
All right, thank you once again for being a part of the Wake.Show. For lots of you, I will be messaging you throughout the day unless my anxiety kicks in, which it likely will as soon as the cameras go off, and I won't be able to do much of anything for the rest of the day.
What did he say?
Huh?
What was he talking about?
I think I can.
Did he say Kanye? Just, I'm very curious.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Was he talking about Kanye or was he talking about Chris?
Was he talking about me or Kanye?
He did. You know what he? Yes. Here's what he responded. This is why I had to.
Oh well, no. I got it because he didn't answer the question. He was just in his world and just ranting. I got it.
Okay.
Even though you were making points, but sometimes people will listen to you if you're listening to them. If you're not listening to other people, you can't expect people to listen to you.
Right.
Remember that.
So, in all due respect, Thomas, I don't know who you are, and so I'm just going to make an assumption as a host. To me, this as the host of the show, this is somebody else trying to control that part of the show. For instance, Chris asked you a question. So who are you talking about there? But the answer that I get back is, if you had read my first comments, you would understand exactly what I'm talking about. Go back.
No, you're on our show. Don't tell me what to do.
Right. So
I'm asking you a question. If you don't want to answer the question, then listen, man, like I say, it's a level of mutual respect. I asked a question. I didn't know who you were. You popped up. You could be popped and gone. Like, come on, man. You got to play it evenly and play it fair if you want people to take you seriously.
But did
That's
you know
just what it is?
You know the way that I see it, Chris, is that in that moment he's not nefariously, purposefully trying to control the conversation.
He's trying to get
that's just the way his brain works to try to get into a comfortable
this is the
place.
lesson, my friend. You heard me say you're on our side. I'm telling you. You got to come off of some of the ego. If you read we didn't read it. We're talking about other stuff, man.
We got a lot of there's a lot of things in front. It's not just your comments that are in front of me.
That's what I'm saying.
There's a lot of buttons,
come on,
a lot
man.
of screens.
Let's be real, brother. Let's be real.
All right, Corey Dillon, once again, thank you so much. Chris McCarty, love you. Good luck in Nashville. You guys, we've got our 100th episode tomorrow. Very excited about that. Make sure you tune in at 11:30 sharp, and we'll be asking for likes and shares as we stream live from our psych room, our big production facilities downstairs. So very, very nervous, and we'll get to that tomorrow morning. So have a great day. Be safe. Take care of yourself. Be kind to your featherman.
Birds of a feather.
Be kind to your fellow man, and most importantly, let your crazy breathe.